Hi orchestra students, welcome to lesson 22. Today we're going to be learning a fiddle tune called Cripple Creek. This is an awesome opportunity for you to play along with maybe a friend or a family member who knows how to play an instrument. The only thing they need to be able to do is either learn the song by ear with you or be able to read music in treble clef or bass clef. You'll find all the sheet music for today's class in our Google Classroom. It's labeled Cripple Creek Family Friend Jam. So go ahead and gather what you need and let's regroup and learn the fiddle tune Cripple Creek. First, let's learn the bass line. The bass line can be performed on any instrument. Again, anybody who can read notation or learn by ear. So scroll until you see your instrument bass line. It's marked pizzicato, which means we don't need to use our bow. So let's put our bows down. Back to the good old days. And the pizzicato part is super simple. It's just open strings on simple quarter note pulses. This is what it sounds like. D, D, G, B, D, D, A, D. Back to the beginning. D, D, G, B, D, D, A, D. Next line. D, 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 A, D. Repeat. D, 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 A, D. And that's it. That's how you play the bass line. So go ahead and pause and practice and try that bass line part on your own. Now let's try learning the tune. The tune is at the top of your page and it's otherwise known as the main melody of the song. Let's clap our rhythms first before we play. Clap the rhythms of the tune. Ready and go now. Do, do, day, do, 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 do. 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 And stop right there. Each line happens 2 times total. The rhythm stays the same. This time, let's say our letter names on pulse while we read our notation. D, 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 A, Fis, G, B, A. D, 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 A, Fis, E, D, D. Pause. We got to the end of the first line. You would then repeat that, but let's go on. Second line of the tune. Ready, say your letters now. Fis, 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 E, D. Fis, A, A. Fis, 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 E, D. A, B, D. Stop right there. You would then repeat that line, but we're going to pause. So for this song, you need to be able to play notes on your A string and on your D string. Let's give it a try. Pick up your bow. Let's try the first 2 measures of the song. Starting on our high D, so cellists, you've got your 4 fingers on the A string. Violins are going to have your 3 fingers on the A string. Let me play it one time, and then we'll do it together. First 2 measures, my turn. Ready? Play it. Now here we go. Next 2 measures, my turn. Together, ready and go. My turn, last two measures. My turn. Together, ready, and go. Again, you would repeat each line, so each line would happen 2 times total. Let's try the whole first line together without stopping. Starting on your high D. Again, violins, 3 fingers. Finger numbers are written in your part, and I'm demoing on cello right now. Everybody play the first line, please. Ready, set, and here we go. First line. Let's take a pause, and now let's go to the whole second line. Everybody's starting on F sharp, 3 fingers for cellos. Violins, you're going to have your 2 fingers on the D string. Let's set it up. Play the second line. Ready, set, second line, here we go. So we just learned the whole tune. Now, you could decide to play the tune while maybe your sibling or parent or friend plays the bass line, open strings, or simple notes like on a piano or a guitar or any other instrument that somebody that you know might play. Let's take a pause break and review the tune on your own. Let's take a look at Variation 1. Variation 1 is an optional advanced part. Maybe you have an older sibling in orchestra who wants to come over and play this part with you while you play the bass line or while you play the tune. Or maybe you're feeling up for a new challenge and you want to try these advanced parts. So Variation 1 starts with a little slide into your high D. To do that, you're going to start your note a little bit underneath the tape and then slide up into it under one bow stroke. Can you try that? And that's what makes it sound like more of a casual kind of fiddle sound. The other thing you'll notice in Variation 1 is something called double stops. Double stops you'll see in my handwriting, it says play both. That means play both notes at the same time. You're going to let your bow touch your A string and D string at the same time. You'll finger the note name B against your open D. So B and D together, and then open A and open D together. Look with your eyes if you're trying this. Have your bow touching both strings so your elbow level is a little bit different than just an A string or just a D string. It's in like a medium zone. Remember, the Variation 1 is just an option. You do not need to do this right now, but maybe somebody in your family or a friend wants to try this with you. That's how you would do it. Play both notes at the same time. So the first 2 measures of Variation 1 sound like this. The next 2 measures have something else new. We have little grace notes or little ornaments, and you'll see in my handwriting it says quick. So you're going to play a quick D-E before the next D in that little pattern like this. And it's on a down bow. So the whole third and fourth measures would sound like this. I start with a slide. Let me play the whole first line of variation 1. That's how the first line goes. In the second line, you'll see those lines up into the F sharp are again slide. Those are little slide. You're going to start from a lower sound and slide into the F sharp. So it'll sound like this. There's our double stops, D and A together. I'll do that again. Next two measures start with a slide. And ends with double stops. Touching open D and then also bowing A, B, D. So the whole second line of variation 1 sounds like this. Let's try a play down of variation 1 for anybody who's ready for this, or maybe an older orchestra student who wants to join you. Variation 1 with the repeats. Ready, set, and here we go. Variation 1. Remember, all the variation parts are optional for 4th graders. They're quite advanced, so no worries if this is feeling like too much. You can stay with the tune and the bass line, and that will be perfectly fine. So a quick heads up, in variation 2, there's something called a slur where you're going to move your bow smoothly between 2 pitches without changing your bow in between. It happens with a B to a C sharp. And then in the second line of that variation, it happens from an open D to an E, and an E to an open D, like this. And then later. So look for the curved line between 2 notes to show you that's a slur. There's also a C natural in the first line of this variation. So for violins or maybe a viola player who's joining us, you're going to put your 1 and 2 touching. That second finger is not going to be on the tape anymore. It's going to slide back to touch your first finger. It cancels the sharp, and the pitch should sound a half step lower than a C sharp. Cellists, you'll see in my handwriting, it's a second finger on the A string. And that's how you perform your C natural. No tape for that note. You just put 1 and 2 about an inch away from each other. Variation 2. 1 and 2, ready and go. And that's variation 2. last element of doing your family or friend jam with this Cripple Creek song is to decide what part you're going to play, what part your friend is going to play, and then putting them together. I recommend counting in with a nice steady 1, 2, ready, go. So if you're playing the tune, you could count yourself in or your group in by saying 1, 2, ready, go. Etc. If you're playing the bass line, you could put your bow down and you could count in the group saying 1, 2, ready, go. Etc. If you're playing the variation 1, you'd count in saying 1, 2, ready, go. Etc. If you're playing variation 2, you'd count in the group 1, 2, ready, go. Etc. So I hope you can get the chance to combine forces with another musical person in your life, and let me know how it goes. I look forward to hearing from all of you soon.